Hey YouTube, part 2, I'm back. So we're at the situation. I did spare you the bit when I was looking through my box of screws to try and find screws that match these extra ones, and they're kind of close enough. I think they look pretty good. Overkill, obviously, but rather overkill than underkill. That one doesn't look very good, but hey, sod it. I found these quite cool looking black ones, but they definitely don't look original or old, so I don't know how. I think these screws are probably only meant to be about a quarter as long as this. Yes, so they'll be getting put in with the drill. Another thing I noticed, see the holes where the screws come through the base plate, that's what they're like normally. Wee holes you put the strings through. Big holes here, which makes it easier to put through in the back. Why doesn't everyone do that? I'm giving you a couple of seconds to think about it and think why no one does that. It's because it's much harder, so you have to be much more accurate. So it's much easier just to drill wee holes and then they don't have to be perfectly centred. Yeah, so I mean this bridge is not coming off. Held on with screws of that magnitude. You can't repel screws of that magnitude. I want this to be a wee bit more. I've got plenty of adjustment potential in that. That's good. Yes, that's good. I'd imagine I'm probably going to want this quite close to the strings. I don't think this. I'm not expecting this to be a particularly powerful pickup. Right. Is that really where I'm at? Is that all I've done? Is it almost time for the soldering iron to start putting the pots back on again? We're in this box here, aren't we? So we're reckoning that is it even says on it, it's a 3B 500K. So this is a B pot. So if I put this as the bridge volume, no I can't, it's got to be a tone, doesn't it? Because it's got, if you look at the bit you can't see here, obviously it wasn't designed to take, that's just Forstner bitted out. That's obviously to take this pot. I wonder if I should just maybe just not bother with this pot and just try and find one. So I'm reckoning, I don't know whether they're alphas or betas. I can't read, that might be a D at the end. They've got solder on them, so you can't actually read them. That's what was a bridge pot, so that could be the neck bridge anyway. Can I be bored putting another pot in, or just leave that one? So I'm not going to be using the push-pull potential of the potentiometer anyway, so I'm going to put one of them on. Why not? And then, is that the right thing? It looks like it. One of them, and that can be my bridge neck volume. Like so, like that, and I'm hoping there's actually going to be enough room. There's going to be enough wire left on this to reach it. It's going to be close. I'm not sure. Is this the right nut? Yes. So it's going to have to be pointing towards it. I think you've got to give me an extra couple of mil. I'm just going to take whatever I can get. These are both tones, so the tones go. Put one of these on, and then one of these on the outside. So that can be the tone for the bridge. Not that I ever really used. I'm not really. No, I'll put that as the tone for the bridge. Just depends how easily I can find an alpha 500K pot. I've not that really used tones ever anyway, but and this will be the I kind of know. I think I kind of know what's happened here. It's like he's read it out, put the pot in the wrong place for the other volume. I'm gonna have to try and find myself another pot. B500. In fact, did I not just find a B500? So I'm going to assume that these are the original tone pots. Probably, maybe. I will know quite quickly because they'll just go from. They won't do anything until you get to the end, and then they'll be all off. But I definitely had a, that's a Japanese pot. That's a B500, you can see it says B500 on it, so it's getting a brand new B500 pot for the bridge volume, and I'm going to save that push-pull pot for something else. How does that sit up height-wise? It's a wee bit higher. Could do with that washer, okay. I'm just doing this line up so they all look sort of the same sort of height they do. That's the bridge volume, yes. And I'm just going to wire this absolutely sensibly, so it all makes sense to me. I'll cut the wires to the right length, so I'll not be taping them together and all that malarkey. And I've lost the socket that had it. Yep. So I'm assuming that it's going to reach there. Okay, I think it will. It's got to go there. I might need to extend the earth wire on it a little bit, just because there and there. I think there's room. I think there's room. Let's just assume there's going to be room and worry about it later when there isn't. Cut a wee bit of this solder off. Where's my snips? So I wonder what the value of one of these guitars is. I don't know. It's kind of worth more to me than I think it is to anyone else, because I'm such a Japanese guitar fanboy. I take it that's not just gonna. I think this stuff doesn't burn off, does it? Oh, it does sort of. That's all right. Okay. I mean, I can burn. I don't want to burn that off. I want to try and pick away that to get a wee bit of a. Where's my one of my favourite tools? The dart. If I can kind of unthread this a little bit, I should be able to get something that I can actually get a bit of solder onto with the earth. Either that, it's just get soldered to an extra wee wire just get soldered to the braided bit. I don't need to get much. I just need to get enough to get an actual. Something to actually get a hold of. Braided wire. Stupid, annoying, but vintage correct. It was even vintage and stupid in 1974. Why are we putting 50s things in? We've got better systems. But people are already falling for this whole idea of, oh, it's got to be like the original. And we're at temperature. We've got solder. So the bridge pickup is going to be connected. Best bet's not to breathe this shit in. Really. I'm going for the most important one is getting the centre bit through. The guitar doesn't actually need to be sitting in below me, which thinks it's not. There's nothing actually connected. That's a good solder. And then if I put that bit there onto that bit there, good enough. That should be strong enough to work. Right. Yes, I think there's enough there. So the bridge pickup is now. It's going to the centre. Is that where I want it to go? No, I kind of want it to go to the output, don't I? The outside. Do I? Because I'm looking at it upside down. I'd normally come out the centre, wouldn't I? That's going to make it a bit tighter. This can be done either way, but I'm just sticking to what I'm used to. I'm going in here like that. and then this bit's going. There's not really enough room to do anything else, is there? Okay, that's that on. And it's tight. Gonna work though. We don't need this wire. Right, so did I just do the tone as well? While I'm here, might as well. I will need to run an earth wire for this as well, but the tone just needs to run from that input to there. So it only needs to be that long. And then I'll run an earth wire over the top of all of these, even though they're all connected to this metal strip, which probably means I don't need an earth wire. I'll probably do one anyway, just for the sake of it. The guy was also trying to sell his amp, but it wasn't really an amp I was really interested in. It was a PV something chorus. Scott seemed to know what he was talking about, but I'm not really interested in a chorus amp. There was a time I think it would have been really handy. I just run it off the input. I think I will. Doesn't really matter. Just run it into there. And then run this onto the input. Where's my wee tweezers that I like to use for this so I don't burn my fingies? Am I just going to do it by burning my fingies? There they are. Okay. If I put that onto that one like that, it should look relatively neat. Put that onto there. We now have a tone for the neck pickup. I'm now going to look at it and make sure that that is the neck. The top one is the neck, yes. Okay, so that's the neck pickup in. Got this, which is just the extra wire from the earth, which I'll just stick on there just anyway. Even though good enough. Then we've got the bridge pickup. Again, we've got the centre bit goes to the outside lug, the hot, the outside lug. Okay, and then the shield for it goes onto this. I didn't bother putting the stupid Brady cable onto the neck, the bridge pickup. Probably because it's from another guitar. This might actually be a similar bridge pickup to what should be in my my Antoria. Would not surprise me at all if that was the case. That literally just spat hot solder into my eye. Lovely. The Dragon does actually say wear safety goggles when you're soldering, so there you go, that's why. Luckily my super Spider-Man type reflexes, that's good, that's good, that's good. Right, then I'll put a wee earth wire, a wee thingy wire, a wee black wire, a wee bit of that black wire to connect up this tone control. Didn't measure it this time. And again, I'll just run this off the... It doesn't need to be as long as that at all. It only needs to be that long. That might make it more confusing. Great again, thanks 1954 Chaos for giving me this reel of wire. It was smashing, and now I know exactly what kind of wire to buy when I do run out of this, which I'm going to, because I'm using it like a mad lunatic just now. I was always one for using bits of speaker cable and I could find lying about. All because at one time I decided I was going to buy wire and I didn't read the advert properly, and what I got was the thinnest wire you can imagine. It was in 2-inch lengths. A big baggot, and it was like, not the right thing. So it's far too long anyway, but okay, right. Right. Okay. Right, now we've got to start thinking about this switch, which I've not put the strings back on again. I'm just going to deal with that nightmare later on. Where's the switch? There. Right, one of the problems was I couldn't get anything to stick to that. So if I scrape that like mad, hopefully I can break the surface tension enough. Scraping this to try and get a bit of solder to stick to it so I can actually stick an earth wire to it, because before there was no earth wire stuck to it. I'm not sure whether the Japanese would have had earth wire stuck to it. I'm not sure it's 100% really necessary to earth the casing of the switch, but I mean, just if we can actually get it to stick to it would be nice. It appears to be sticking to it. Put tons of it on, so it's definitely sticking to it. Over a larger area. Try and spread it out a little bit. Yeah, that's solid. Good. Right. So now we're looking at, where are those grey wires? This. So we've got to go up there. So basically that switch there is kind of useless. These are just getting snipped and reused from scratch, so I'm not using old solder joins. I'm assuming that these two are actually long enough to go from, that's the output wire, isn't it? That's long enough to go from there to there. So that's the output, this long one. This shorter grey one isn't long enough for my purposes, so I can't use that. And this one's long enough to do the bridge to the switch, yes. And again, I'm just going to take that big blob off the end of it. Yeah, put some solder onto that tip. I was a wee bit concerned when you see the bits of tape wrapped around. It just means you probably didn't do a very good job soldering it in the first place. But again, you're not sure how much of this. So I got Jimmy Moon to do it, and then 3 weeks later, I changed I rearranged it. I put a push-pull pot in. That's not really the Jimmy Moon way of doing things. I don't think he would have got it right first time. That is long enough to go from there to there. It is. Do I make this the neck one? Make this the neck one. So it goes from the output of the thingy, which is because of this stupid fucking braided wire. I don't want to touch that, but I can actually see that it's not touching, so that's fine. So I just put this to the centre here, the output of the pot. That's it, connected and solid, and then I can run that to the back of the pot using the original wiring. Jesus, need that bit. That's okay. And then the other end, we're just going to 50-50 it, which way this switch works. It's going in that way. So it's going in like that, and I want, and it's going in like that. So up is neck. So currently I'm doing neck. So whatever one of these is the one I want to go to, the one it's connected to right now. So if I use my multimeter, it's either these two that join together, nope, or these two that join together. Yes, so that is the neck one. So that's the one I'm going to go to right now. Yeah, there's probably enough there. Yeah. So I run this in here like this. Don't touch the casing. Isn't that a great solder, that one? No, I'm going to redo the end of this. It's just a little bit shitty looking. No, it's alright actually. Right. It goes in this one. All good. Nice and solid. The earth goes on to that, which now has enough solder on it to actually stick, I hope. Right, so that's the... And then what I think I'll do is I will put this switch in. Is it actually attached? It is attached to the bridge pickup. Okay, put the switch on now, right. I know this must be absolutely riveting. It's, maybe you've got some sort of disorder, you can't get to sleep, or... Up. Like that. I'm looking at this, that's going up and down. Up selects the neck pickup. Down's going to select the bridge pickup. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run that long cable, which is the output one, which I think is going to make it all the way to the output jack, onto this switch. So it's going to go in the middle, and again with the just testing the solder joint there. It's good. It didn't break when I dropped it. So if I can take that, it can take anything. So I've had to, this middle bit's got to go to the middle. This is the output for the whole guitar. This is not the way it was wired. I may add. I don't know how exactly it was wired. I think that might be why that Seymour Duncan was so bassy. I think there was something not quite right about it. I soldered that on the underside there. Come on, you bastard. Right, that's rock solid. And that goes to the output jack, so I'll worry about that later. So I do need to actually make another wire. Although it doesn't need to be a shielded wire. It's not going to be a shielded wire, it's going to be just one of these. There's no point, it doesn't need to be shielded onto the switch. So it's not going to be... Because all that, but basically I've just ran 2 earth wires to the switch, as in the shielding from, oh no, I do need to, because I need to take the earth from the pots to the head, and also I need to take earth from the switch to the output jack. So this is actually a very efficient way of doing it. I don't see any solder on that connection. What did I do with that wee stupid bit of solder there? Right. You can sort of see what I'm doing. That's the bridge pickup. That goes on to the middle toggle. I can see why I'm actually gonna put wee bits of tape on this just to tape it together. I think that the only reason the tape was there really was to make it easier to poke into this route. Maybe a good idea would be actually using wee plastic tie wraps. I might actually, if I could, I might pause the video and go and see if I can find them. I think I've got a packet of them in the garage. Just because they're easy just to snip off, rather than, you know, somebody coming back to this in another 50 years time and going, oh my god, this insulating tape's all disappeared. Right, so that's basically the whole guitar wired apart from the output socket. It's just a very simple, all it has to be, but I quite fancy it. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to see if I can find those insulating things. Not insulating, tie wrap things. So where's pause? Pause. So rather than spend 10 minutes trying to find them, I kind of know where they are. They're over there, but they're in below shit, so I'm just going to use tape. So someone in 50 years' time is going to come in and go, oh god, I can't really put that tape there. That's so there you go. But this, at least this isn't hiding anything. All this is doing is just literally grouping these wires together, so it's going to be easier to put the scratch plate back on again. And it's only just going to be a bit of tape there and a bit of tape there. That's all. and it's not hiding anything. It's not a junction between wires. I'm not extending any wires. I don't like that idea if I can avoid it. It's a wee bit ropey doing that the first way through. Yep, 1, 2, 3, and I've just got this one last wire which goes to the output jack, so I can lose that wee, where's the output jack? There, which has this bit of somebody else's soldering on it. I'll just not have anybody else's soldering in this guitar apart from mine. This is actually the bit of wire that's been cut off from the other piece. The bit that it wasn't long enough. I bet you with this bit involved. It's just because it's been rewired to be something else. The guy was adamant, that stupid design having 2 volume controls. And it's like, well, kind of depends what you're used to. I'm kind of used to. I was struggling there. Just I don't really play Gibsons that often, or Gibson types, but I was still very much used to the controls being where they were. It's like the bottom one, the one down there, that's a bridge volume. So I was still, because it was there, I was used to it. This is that needs, this hasn't been attacked properly with a file. It needs to be attacked properly with a file to break the surface tension, get this so it actually solder actually sticks to it properly. That's why there was a wee bit of tape on it. I'm now going to force solder to stick to that. I've lost that wee bit I had. Right. Time we're at 5:45. I will. This one will be getting played live at 8 o'clock. And lovely, and it's now sticking to it nice. Right. So this is the earth, which is this one. I'll probably do a bit of a shorter bit than that. I'll just stick this on. Just sit at somewhere, not in the way. Come on, there you. Sit somewhere. Sit somewhere, anywhere. Don't care. Right. Sit somewhere that I can actually get, and sit there. Right. Totally not ideal. Solid. And then this one, I'm just going to go all the way through this. I think I'm going to tin that entire wire. I'm going to trim it so there's less chance of it interfering with anything else. If I put solder on that bit, it's tinned. I can poke that through the hole with a little bit of help with soldering iron. Ideally, what I want to do is pull that all the way through like that. Yep. And then solder it on there and snip off the excess. Like that. So a much better joint than it was before. Much better. And then we'll just trim it, make it neat. Booyah. Not going to interfere with anything. Plenty of room. Good, good, good. So basically all I need to do now is put this in. And put the scratch plate on. I may only put it on with a couple of screws because there's no actually way of testing this is actually working. Because it shouldn't be out of. It's gone back to what it originally was 50 years ago, so it should be all right. Oh, that's what's missing. There's meant to be a washer on the inside, which is fallen off. That's me just going from experience. If I'd left that in, I'm pretty sure this washer is actually sitting on the inside of the guitar and joining the two contacts together, which would have meant the whole guitar would have been earthed and it wouldn't work. Well, not easy to get out. How did I get him? I might get that out. Put it on there. Yeah. Like so. Fucking fell off. Bastard. Now, what I would find a real challenge is why doing this sort of thing with a guitar and not swearing. No. There must be. I mean, I bet you there's not really any sort of heavy religious Christian guitar wirers out there. Because that the right one? It's not. Wait, that's the right one. I'm sure it was that one. That might be the right one. That the right one? It is. Yeah. I'm just tightening this up now. It's not touching anything. It's not shorting out in anything. These are the sort of annoying, stupid things that always happen. You put the guitar together, and it's like, and what have I forgotten? I didn't put an earth wire between all of these, but I'm going to go for that silver thing. That silver stuff's going. If I earth the back of the one pot to the next, they're both going to. We're going to get a 0 reading. Yep. Yep. Good enough for me. So you don't actually need to put earth wires on because it's stuck to this bit of foil. I'm going to take that. Right, there we go. First time this guitar has been assembled as its original design since, I reckoned, 80s, 1986, something like that. And I can see now why it was taped, to try and get the wires to all fit in. Just need to pull that in a wee bit. Like that. Why is it not going down? Is that because it's sitting on the underside of the pickup? It should be alright. It should be alright. Ah, I've never actually done a Telecaster custom before, so I don't know. I'm going to turn the soldering iron off. That might be tempting fate, but we'll do it. Why is that not going? That should be in there, and that should go in there. It looks like it should fit. It's almost like these. Are these screws too deep for this bastard thing? They are. The screws are too long. These are obviously not the screws that are meant to hold this on. I do quite like them. I'm actually tempted to actually just angle grind the ends off these to make them a bit shorter, because they're very long. Am I going to go out to the garage and angle grind off the bottoms of all these bolts? Because I think that pickup's just not sitting in the hole because these screws are decked out. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's probably going to be the last thing though. Once I've done that, it should all go back together again. I'm even going to put the knobs on just now. There's a wee thingy to myself. A wee well done. Volume. Put 10 there. That's good. Right, and then volume. Because this is actually the volume now, rather than being. That's not really fitting on that very well. Is it put on this one a bit? No, it's that pot. It's a wee bit. This is what you don't want to do as well. I'm just going to widen up that a little bit. But be very careful not to snap them. So there's a bit more grip on the knob. You're just splaying the two bits of the spline off a little bit. It's not really quite on right, but it'll do. You can do that when it's in bits. That one fitted nice and snug. That one. Alright. That one just a little bit. I just need to try and see which side's bent in. Not really. So if you just kind of, I'm using a Stanley. If you just kind of bend it open a little bit, but not too much, because you don't want to snap. If you bend it too much, it'll snap. And then that should hopefully be enough to just make it a little bit wider, so there's a little bit more resistance pushing this on. Ah, perfecto. I am good. Right, so I've now got to take this guitar. Do I try and put the strings on so they don't get in the way? No, because I've got to take it off. Okay, so another pause. How long is this one so far? 33 minutes. Okay, this will be done. This will be about 50 minutes like the first one. Put it back together again. I shall be back after I've angle grinded the bottoms of these bolts off. All hail the angle grinder. So basically what I did was I just cut the bottoms of these screws off. Here. These. It's always fun going inside a 40 to 50-year-old guitar and trying to using an angle grinder to cut things, but I did it. So hopefully now this is now going to close and it'll fit in, because I think that was what was stopping it going in. Probably wasn't, but I mean, I got to use the angle grinder anyway, so it's a sort of win-win situation. It appears to be in all the way there. Why is it not going in there? Because that's in the way. What's that? Where's that? Right. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. We're all in. We're all on. Something stopping that. Doesn't seem to be sitting quite on, is it not? Something there stopping it. That wee bit of wire. There we go. There we go. It's all on. So I'm going to stick a couple of screws in this, and then I'm going to put the strings on, and then we're going to see if it works. This video should probably end here because there's not really that much interesting to do here, but so hopefully this guitar is going to be, well, am I going to do that anyway? I'll plug it into the amp and make sure everything works. I think it's going to work. This is more just to make sure I haven't missed out anything really obvious. This is really fidgety trying to get these around the routings. It doesn't seem to be sitting perfectly flat. Why is it not sitting perfectly flat? Close enough. Right. So where's my amp? On. We'll see if that pot that wasn't working, I've managed to. Oh, that's tight. Okay, that's something I've learned. I'm going to have to rotate that volume pot, the output jack a little bit, because it's pushing against the side, so I need to undo that a wee bit and rotate it round so that the spring lever's at the top. I can actually get the jack socket in. So, I mean, yes, I was right. I'd rather check it. It's not shorting out or anything. No, so now this should just go in and clip in. It's in, right. So what we should have here is volumes are both at full. That should be the neck pickup. Good. That shouldn't be on. That should be a bridge pickup. That shouldn't be on. That should be both of them. Right. So we're on the neck pickup. That should be the volume. That should be the tone. And the bridge pickup. This should be the volume. And this should be the tone. Okay. I'm willing to accept that as probably sort of working. I'm totally looking forward to playing this guitar. You have to wait for the live stream, or you have to go back and look at the live stream and see me try it for the first time. I don't think I'm going to do any sort of video before that. Why is that not quite sitting flat? What is that? And if it's not been sitting flat for 50 years, it's not going to want to sit flat. That's not going in there because something's... Why is that not quite... It's not quite on. I'm going for absolute perfection here because it's my guitar. So there's something stopping that going in. I think it's just one of these pots slightly too big. Is it that? There's a fucking tab for that. This is stupid thing, isn't it? Things you don't even think of looking for. What's happened there? Let's see how... I can't see. See that tab there? That needs to be not there. That needs to be there. Something as simple as that. Only a true pro like me would know. That was what was happening. Once you've used the angle grinder, you know, the problem is solved. It's just a case of finessing that problem now. There we go. Now we're on. Now it's all sitting flat. All happy. All good. Let's stick some screws in it. Nice and flush. Maybe give it a wee wipe before I put the strings back on again. And it shouldn't be that badly set up. The intonation doesn't look quite right. I'll have to do that again because I've changed the bridge. The action could be the same because the action was quite good anyway, and I haven't adjusted the heights of the saddles. So I think maybe these things are done once I've actually put them. I'm only putting... Well, it works. So I'm just going to put all the screws in like a total idiot while I'm here. And just, man, they're so much fun. So much nicer putting these screws in than it is putting them in on a 10-year-old Epiphone. Oh, yes. Because they go in and they've got a certain expensiveness to them. Not that, yeah, but I like my guitar to feel expensive when I take it to bits and adjust things. It's like, well, most people don't do that. It doesn't make a guitar more desirable. Just kind of where the Japanese kick in a little bit more than any other guitar. You know, it's the exact opposite of a Harley Benton. This doesn't have anything fancy on it at all. Okay, it's got a wide range humbucker. You know, the Harley Benton would have, oh, Wilkinson, and oh, stainless steel, and oh, da 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 da, and put together with the crappiest things they could possibly find to make it as cheap as they possibly can, but not be lying in the advert where it says, oh, it's got Seymour Duncan's or whatever. I've not cleaned these knobs either, but I kind of like them quite grotty looking. They are, after all, 50 years old, even though they haven't been in the guitar for 50 years. Because these are stupid knobs, according to the guy who it's like, but you want nice knurled ones like that. Quite like the witch hat knobs. Period correct. And again, I really like putting the screws into their own wee container, which means that you know how many screws you've got. So I'm sitting there going, oh, I've still got 2 screws left. It means I've forgotten about 2 of these holes. Again, a Japanese screwdriver would be nice rather than these. Almost the right size, but just not quite. Not the precision that the rest of the guitar's made of. Are these this screwdriver fitting out? I've got 1, 2, 3. And the joy of untangling these already been on the guitar strings. 1 more. There. And then I think once I've done this and I've got it working, I'm going to have a wee search online, see how much I can get for a 1979 Fender bridge pickup. Put it on eBay as a slow, you know, like a... I'll just let it sit there. Buy it now, 150 quid or whatever it is, and at some point somebody's got their £3,500 Fender one that doesn't have the original pickup in it. They want it to be all original. They'll pay 150 quid for that pickup. Damn right they will. What, £3,500 for a guitar that doesn't have the right pickup in it? Assuming, of course, this Maxon sounds good. I think it should. It might be quite weak, but I don't care. Guessing that's not fully on. There we go. Right. Quick wipe the cloth. We want it in below the bit we can actually get at. I didn't go for completely cleaning the bridge. It's 50 years old. Quite happy. It's not actually dirty. It's just slightly shitty, grotty looking. Right, here's the bit I've not been looking forward to from the very start. Putting these strings back on. What a bitch this is going to be. Because they're all going to be joined together. For sure. They do get easier the more you get through it though. So just now there's 6 all tangled together. So once I put this one on, there's only going to be 5 tangled together. And because these don't have the... As I said, as I moaned earlier on, they've got like solid barrels on the thing, mate. I'm going to be very careful about holding this up, making sure that the winds are all really close together. A little bit more work involved in putting these on than putting them in modern tuners. I see, that's fine when you do that. Now I know about it. And I wonder if the neck's moved any further. When we got it, it was playing when we picked it up. It was the action was so low, it was ridiculous. But you could kind of tell. It's amazing how, you know, you can go and try a guitar and it's like, oh, I asked the guy if I had an amp to plug it in, and all that. So I took my wee amp just to make sure it worked, and it didn't. To be fair, the amp didn't actually show up the problem with the bridge pickup, which I don't think. I don't know if it was maybe just the settings on Scott's amp. He's got a. I was playing through like a Blackstar big head thing, like 150 watt Blackstar head, but it's got a gate on it, so it's kind of choppy sort of thing. Oh, these saddles have got funny grooves on them. I hope I haven't bent that string. Right. Separate these out. Separate them out. Separate them out. Don't just pull them because you'll bend them. But just to try and... I believe the actual technical term might be fankle. That's what we used to call them when you were fishing. Oh, I've got a fankle! Just spending hours chasing, trying to put the rings back on the reel. Yeah. Oh, right, definitely. Now that I know what I'm doing these, I'm already happy with the way these tuners are working. You just got to be mindful when you put the strings on. Or have other tuners. I don't want to change these. That one doesn't look very long. That's not going to stick, is it? Is that long enough? Not really. I think with these you need more than... that should be enough. It should be enough. Nope. Jumped it. No, that's just pulling itself out. Annoyingly, I already had this problem when I did the high E string, and I left the pack of strings. I had to break into a second pack of strings, but I left them at Scott's like an idiot. So I do have other strings, but that means I'm breaking into another pack of strings. See, that's not holding. What a fidgety bastard this is turning out to be. Not even the difficult strings. I just didn't give it enough. You've just done the same, haven't you, bastard? This is my forceps would be handy. Don't think that's going to hold. Is it? It might. It might hold. If not, I'll be getting Scott to bring up that partly used set of strings, and I'll be... It looks like there's enough on this one. That one's alright. 2, 3, 4 winds, that's not bad. I think on this guitar in future I'll be going for more like a sort of 5 or 6 winds, just to make sure. I'd rather have a couple extra winds round the post and not need them than not have enough winds round the post and strings keep falling out. I suppose you could argue that, oh, if you've got more winds it'll take a little longer to stretch in. That's fine. Oh, there's a kink in it. A kink in this string. I hope that's not going to snap when I tune it up. There's quite a bad kink in this string. I hope it's not going to snap when I tune it up. Fucking might. Not on the saddle. So the string spacing should be a wee bit slightly better than it was. Not that I noticed there was anything wrong with it beforehand. And you can see what's happened here. Look at the string spacing. So we've got a big gap, a wee gap, big gap, a wee gap, because it's got this knurled thing. Because I was too busy concentrating on putting the strings on correctly onto the thing, I can now move these to where I think they should be. Make them all separate. I need to make it a straight line. That's okay. That's a wee bit that way. That one a wee bit that way. That one a wee bit. That one a wee bit in. All right. there. Yep, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to have a wee go at guessing where these intonation things should be. Yeah, I reckon that one should be a wee bit more that way, and then we're kind of there to be approximately right. That used to be just be a wee bit longer. You want them kind of sloping like that, and that's certainly within the sort of the scratchy regions on the bottom of the plate. So let's tune this baby up. See if the see if that string's gonna hold, or I'll be breaking into something else. And I'm going to make myself a massive dinner and eat more than I actually want, so I don't end up pure drunk on tonight's live stream again, and end up pure ill on Monday. Tomorrow I've got to go and build an outdoor spraying booth for Jen. So there you go, so that's basically 2 hours it takes to do that. So if I'm hitting you with, I'm looking for 80 quid, or something like that, that's why. It's like, oh, I keep getting that, it's up here, but all you did was change a pickup, oh, and it's up here, yeah, it took 2 hours. How did it take you 2 hours? Try to find screws, you're fucking stupid. Screws that break. Right, so we're on. What's this guitar going to sound like? I've not adjusted the heights of the pickups at all. So there's the maxon, the bridge humbucker. Oh. Do some fancy shit. Watch this. If I grab hold of that, move that. Oh, no, not that one. Move that one. So there you can see all of me, and then I can go. Whoop! There we go. See? There we go. CSL, probably don't need that anymore. Mic's still there, it'll be fine. What does the bridge sound like? Both of them. And that can come up a fair bit though. I intentionally didn't put that, I put special screws in so I could bring that up as tight to the strings as I can, so I'm just going to bring this up. I never set it because I didn't have the strings on, so I want to get a bit more oomph out it. Okay, not quite as much oomph as that. That's about right. A wee bit more there maybe. A wee bit more. What's the angle like? Get a wee bit like that. Can probably get a wee bit more out of this as well. I don't want it to be too huge a difference between the neck and the bridge. I kind of like it to be relatively balanced between the two. Having 4 adjustment screws is great. I've got the opportunity to set it so it's actually completely parallel with the strings, which I like. Fine. Wee bit flat. Perfect. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't sound like a normal humbucker. This it doesn't sound like the Seymour Duncan was in it. It sounds like a mini humbucker or one of your fancy, a Rickenbacker or Gretsch or something. No, I think that might be the right value of volume pot for that one. That tone's not right. Well, that's, no. The tones kind of does everything at the end. What's the neck one like? Not bad. Yeah. Yeah, that pot there's the wrong pot. That's an alpha, I think. It works, but it kind of works between 1 and 3. Doesn't really do anything. Not doing anything there, but when you get to 3, it does something. Yeah, so that's the wrong pot. But I mean, how often do I use the bridge pocket? Distortion, then I'll actually leave you, and you can. Who wants to buy a Seymour Duncan JBJ from the golden era with the square holes on the front, and 1979 or 78? I'm only going for it ends in 78, the number on it, or it might be 73, or it might be 79, whatever it is. A Fender one. They're good. I'm liking that. I'm happy with that. I'm definitely going to take out the flanger and the chorus pedal and put back in my Delamo fuzz pedal, because that bridge pickup's going to love the Delamo fuzz pedal. I can just tell. And it looks awesome. So there we go. 1974 CSL Strat, back to completely original spec, bar at least one pot and some screws from various parts of it, but the rest, and the strings, they're new as well. And the relief in the truss rod is just about perfect now. I'm going to fidget a wee bit with the axe, so I think I can get it down. I mean, it's not choking out anywhere. We're sitting at a 1 1/4 mil, 1.25 mil action in the 12th fret. That's pretty good. rock-a-doodle-doo. So, see, I'm sorry there's not been any videos this week, or any fresh ones, because I'm working. So, I will see you tonight on the live stream, but that was probably 2 days ago. I think I'll just put these out one a night or something like that. I'm sorry if you're not interested. There's no point in me really trying to work out what videos people will like and what... You can tell me what videos you like. I like videos like this, and I'll do more like that. But I mean, I keep having great ideas about doing a video and do it, and it's like nobody really watches it or nobody comments, and then I do one where I go, I really shouldn't put that out, it's shit, and then I get hundreds of... So I don't know. Feedback, like and subscribe, and if you know, if you see a CSL Telecaster like this, give me a shout. Just out of interest. I don't know. I mean, monetary wise, I don't think it's an expense. It's worth that much money, which is stupid. You know, like a real one, you know, like $3,000, or I think some of them were $5,000. And well, this one's in good conditions. This would be the $5,000 one with all the original bits on it. If it was a Fender, and it's like, how different is this from a Fender? And it's like, I mean, we were playing this last night at Scott's. That's why I didn't do a video last night. We're just talking away all night. We had this thing in bits. I should have filmed all that when we found out that it had Seymour Duncan's and, you know, Fender parts in it, and, you know, and the original Maxon pickups had a date code, all that stuff. We could have found all that out live. But after it, we compared it to Scott's Tele, which is a 2010s, like a custom shop Fender Tele, which was very nice. The pickups worked better than they did on this at the time. I'm not sure, it was something, maybe just dirt that got in somewhere, because it seemed to work when I brought it home, but it didn't work when I was over at Scott's, the bridge pickup. And then we had this 69 Strat out, a real Fender Stratocaster from 1969. And honestly, the neck on it's very, very similar to this one. It feels like, profile-wise, looks-wise, and feels-wise, it's really damn close. And then you start thinking, actually, the 69, you know, you give it a certain amount of reverence and stuff because it's so old. Same as my 68 EBO. It's like, oh, it's so old. It's only 5 years older than this one. You know, it was still a new guitar when somebody bought this. Or what I would class as a new guitar. Is that a new guitar? I've only had it. It's only 5 year old. Yes. I mean, I class my FGN as brand new, and it's what, 2019. That's like 4 years old. So it's the same age as my FGN. Like a Scott Strat was when this was for sale. Madness, I tell thee, madness.